every once in a while, God blesses his church in an almighty way. And this is one of those stories. You know, for me, I've known Eddie for quite a long while, and a few years back I had the opportunity to do some work with him, and you know, it's been a real delight just to see how God has used him to do an amazing job in multiplying not one church, but churches many times. I think it was about 7 years ago, here in Melbourne, there were 2 Samoan churches. And my understanding is that today we have 6.
Still 2 Samoan churches.
Yeah, 6 other
companies.
5 others.
So there's
7.
7. We've got the perfect number now.
7, the perfect
We're going
number.
to stop now, but we've got the perfect number.
So here we have 7 churches after 7 years. You must be exhausted.
Yeah, I had 2 rounds of golf this week and I'm exhausted. Carried my own bag full of balls and all that. But if I was to ask contingent to stand, there's
Do that. Yeah. So let's stand up,
All those
Samoan.
coloured people.
Samoan
all
Church
stand.
Network.
Come on,
Samoan Church.
Come on, Samoan churches.
Samoan. Let's look at the Samoans.
Well, how could I be a short? How can I be a short? I can play more golf and they do the work.
Yeah, fantastic. Tell us where your churches are located around Melbourne.
Some of our members are from Maui and they go to Pakenham. So there's a group at Pakenham. And then further into town we have what we know as Curran Downs, which is actually in Bank Hall. That's the mother church that started all these. And then if you went north, there's one in Craigieburns. And then come back into town, we have North Melbourne. Then we fly all across to the west in Melton, and there's some folks from Bacchus Marsh coming into Melton. From further in, there's a Sunshine Group, birthed by Melton, which is a company. And then we have another one in Werribee, birthed by Melton and Sunshine.
Wow.
So there you go.
So how many church attenders have you got all up? Have you got the number?
Well, I'm going to be conservative and say 500. That's from the age about 16 to 72. 70.
Okay.
Yeah, about 500.
Now that's massive. That's just incredible, isn't it, really? This is one of the most exciting, I believe, church growth stories, certainly in Australia.
Could I add that one of the things that we continue to remind ourselves is Acts 42, or rather 2 and verse 47. That the Lord himself add to his church.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Some people suggest to me that it's actually easier to grow Samoan churches than the standard Australian church.
Well, I must admit that I used to think that way until this guy comes along and proves me wrong.
Yeah, but there are certain things about the Samoan culture which is, I guess you would say, lends itself towards the Christian values, like community would be one, and hospitality.
Yes, that's true. That's true. But I picked up on something else that some of these guys have said. Andrew said that within any community there are people wanting to do the Lord's work. You just have to, mingle until. And Ross mentioned, up on the screen about elders. And man, it's no longer an excuse for me. That is.
Yeah, I remember when I was a little more involved that there were some cultural challenges, however, that you had to manage.
Well, you see, we came to this land with our cultures, and there's some really good things. However, we love your television, and we love your cars, and we love all those good things. And so we kind of fall into that. And so it's a challenge, again.
So you say Samoans are good consumers?
Ah, absolutely. Islands as well. And we've got some Fijians here, so, you know, it's, we are in the mix now. And sometimes I wonder, you know, I just wish I was in Australia, because Australians are all over the place. And, you know, we could do a lot of good work with them.
Yeah, now, I've noticed too that your churches are becoming less Samoan.
Well, don't tell them, and they don't ask them. Well, we really, part of the challenge here is the culture again. And the culture, they put me up on the top of the pedestal. And so, if we were to really be biblical, then instead of me up at the top as a culture, in the Samoan culture, I have to be the Jesus culture, which he was down there lifting everyone up.
Yeah.
And,
So, because I recall that one of the challenges for you was to deal with the idea of leadership as being chief.
Yeah. If you are a chief, then you maintain that hierarchical structure, and others feel very comfortable here. But once you start coming down, you're threatened, because if you come down, they too need to change their position into a biblical position. And so, in this sense, we are looking at having the Samoan flavor, but really the core is the Bible teaching and Jesus' example.
Amen.
So in that sense, I guess we're all here because we are less Samoans than...
Yeah. Because, I mean, I guess my comment was more related to the fact that you have Samoans marrying non-Samoans. You have people coming off the street to church who are not Samoan. I've flicked through all those before.
Those are part Samoans, and we last couple of Sabbaths we baptized 2 Islanders. Where are you guys? And we have 2 true blood Australians. One is a Catholic. We adopted them as our. The other one is about 72. She went to one of our churches, but one of our members invited her and said, "This is now my church."
Okay.
So I mean,
Now, tell the group about the way in which you have basically multiplied yourself, your strong commitment to group life.
Yeah. When I first got here, and you and I worked together on groups, we kind of spent a lot of time, about 3 years, praying every day, from 5 to about 5:30 before people went to work. And from there, that formed the basis, the conviction that small groups, cell groups, it's not a fad from another denomination, it's actually a Bible teaching. So eventually our folks now, our elders, are happy and they are leading. So they're using that, I guess, Samoan chiefly, but you use those to achieve what we see in the early church, breaking up into groups in families. And so all the Samoan congregations now are very much based on small groups.
And your elders have really taken that on seriously.
They are the leaders, so I'm able, and that's what I mean, you know.
And I guess that's...
This week I had 2 rounds of golf, perhaps next week I'll have 3 rounds. Because you're doing the job.
You're preparing yourself for retirement.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
No, look, it's a real credit to them.
Absolutely.
The effort they've put in, the openness to be trained and to risk take.
Yep.
And God is blessed in a mighty way. Yeah, the only thing that bothers me a little bit here with this story is, Eddie, how can you bear to retire in a year or so?
Well, I'm 35. What more do you do? I mean, yeah, well, the Lord leading, the Lord will. Don't know what I'm going to do. I think I'll go back home and sit in the sun and or climb the coconut.
And receive emails from your former elders.
Yes.
Yeah, it sounds like...
They you know, one of my churches, Current Downs, I hardly go there. They call me a visitor now. And my elders run the church. And again, what he said, John said, Ross said, you know, these guys, and Andrew said, many of our members have abilities and talents and gifts.
Amen.
It's a matter of encouraging. It's a matter of being with them. You know, you take the risks too, and there are all kinds of challenges. But, you know, yeah, again, I don't know if, for me, I play golf, but maybe some of you, whatever you are. I mean, the ideal is to be with them and train them. NCD, you mentioned, three main principles of NCD are worship, which is inspiring worship. Secondly, what was the other? I only had three of them but those three, while I must admit I've never done an NCD survey.
We should do one of those.
But I operate on those 8 principles, and the outcome is really exciting.
No, congratulations. It really is a wonderful story, one that we can learn a huge amount from. If you get the chance to visit a Samoan church, it's worth it. The lunch is always special. Thanks, Eddie.
Thank you.
Case study.